We got some very disappointing news today that Voyager Digital has officially filed for bankruptcy. Now, this whole situation has escalated very quickly over the past 6 months here, and now they're facing delisting from the Toronto Stock Exchange over whether Voyager stock meets the listing requirements. So I just wanted to go through what's going on, if you didn't already hear, really quick, and then give some of my own thoughts. So the company Voyager Digital filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in the Southern District of New York late Tuesday, with estimates that it had more than 10,000 creditors and between $1 and $10 billion in assets, with the same range for its liabilities. The crypto broker's loan book is estimated to be nearly 60% composed of loans to crypto hedge fund Three Arrows Capital. Now, if you've probably heard, Three Arrows Capital has been forced to liquidate, facing bankruptcy and insolvency as well. It just kind of blows my mind a little bit that 60% of their loans would be to one company. I mean, why would you ever have that much risk in one place? It doesn't really make sense to me how this even happened, because were it not for this being so over leveraged to this one company, even if it was just 10%, and Voyager probably would still be here today, but instead, this is how it's playing out. So Steve Elric, CEO, blamed this company, Three Arrows Capital, for most of his company's woes. Three Arrows Capital filed for bankruptcy on July 1st, following a court order in the British Virgin Islands to liquidate. As with fellow lender Celsius Network, Voyager has suffered severe losses with the downturn in the crypto markets in recent weeks, culminating in it suspending trading, deposits, and withdrawals at the start of the month. This situation, it's been a little eerie, I would say, for the past month now. It's all kind of started with the Terra Luna fiasco, and that's when I started to have some skepticisms. And I decided, really just by chance, on June 22nd, I took out all my US dollar coin out of Voyager. So at least I got that out. I had a pretty significant amount in that. But I did leave all my other cryptos in Voyager Digital. So I still had another few thousand worth of crypto on the platform that who knows what's going to happen now. I'm not really expecting much. I mean, maybe eventually if we do get some of that back, but it's going to be a long, long time, I think, at best. I think it's also important to think about how this year has been going. This is a market. I've been talking with seasoned investors who have been investing their whole lives, 20, 30 years, and they're saying they have never experienced a market quite like this. I mean, this is like the worst market we have ever seen, right? This is the worst first half that the S&P 500 has faced ever, right? It's never just gone to hell in a handbasket so quickly here. You tack onto that all the other issues around the world. Obviously we've got the Russia-Ukraine war. We've got inflation at 50-year highs. You've got so many problems that really this is like a black swan event that, were this year different, if we had just kind of, the economy was fine, none of this would be happening. I mean, not that it's any excuse, because you would hope that the companies you're investing in are, prepared for the worst case scenario and not over leveraged to any one company to the point where it would even risk they themselves going bankrupt. But when we consider those things, investing is all about learning. It's a learning experience, and you get better as you go through. There's no substitute for experiencing time in the market. I mean, just me personally, in the past year, I think I've 10x'd my knowledge about markets and how I'll handle investing moving forward, because there's no substitute, for living through it and experiencing these things. And obviously in 2022, we've seen speculative assets were the first to go, along with the tech stocks, stocks that were unprofitable or at very rich multiples. These are always the companies that get hit the hardest and first. And that's why it's so important not to be too overexposed, or to a point where, you have money that you can't stand to lose invested in these speculative plays, because at the end of the day, you do have to recognize, it is a lot of speculation. And that's how I always approach Voyager. I'm very disappointed, because I'm definitely losing a good chunk of money here too. Don't get me wrong. I mean, even before this, my Voyager stock that I also had bought was basically worthless. It was down something like 97%. And I think I had a cost basis around $9.40. So for the people who are hurting, definitely feel free. Use the comment section below as a little vent section. We could do some group therapy sesh down there. Because I get it. I'm there with you guys. So I've lost a few thousand in Voyager stock, another few thousand I have on the platform that is now stuck in limbo. So I think it's important, though, to remember that we are just dealing with an absolutely insane market. And, to be cautious and really just do not risk money that you can't afford to lose. I always looked at Voyager as one of my speculative investments. So, luckily I only invested probably less than 1%, let's say, of my total portfolio was in Voyager stock. But, again, had things been different this year, had this not been the worst market of all time, I don't think this would have happened. And again, not to make excuses for the management. This is their duty, is to be prepared for stuff like this. But I think this is just one of those freak black swan events that no one could have seen coming, a convergence of multiple, in any normal year, any one of the big headlines would be like the big issue of the year. We're facing 5 or 10 at once. So it's disappointing and disheartening to see this happen. And I feel for everyone who, had any money invested. I know a lot of people who had a significant chunk, tied up in Voyager, whether through the cryptocurrencies on the platform or the stock itself. But so this was definitely tough news to see, but it has really shown, obviously crypto to begin with was pretty speculative, but then you have this whole camp of people who have always said, not your keys, not your crypto. And this really does showcase the importance of, if you're going to own cryptos, owning it in your own wallet, right? Physical wallet, not on some centralized platform, because defeats the whole purpose of crypto. And then you're exposed to, things like this happening out of the blue. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And it's a sad day. I did really like this company. I loved the platform. It was, very easy to use. But you live and you learn, and you got to just look at it as a learning experience, and we'll bounce back from this. And at least the earlier you make these mistakes, the better in your investing career. And that's all there is to it. You live and learn, and now we know moving forward what to do. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. This is Vinny from the Investment Club, and I'll see you next time.